Distributive property. The distributive property means that you have a grouping inside parentheses, and there's something that the inside of the parentheses is going to get multiplied by. In this case, everything on the inside will be multiplied by -6. Now, how in the world do you multiply a number and a letter? The letter variable, which is A, there is only one of them on the inside of the parentheses. That one, even though it's not written, is called a coefficient. The number on the outside gets multiplied to the coefficient of the variable, and that's what you will write in your result. The 8 and the -6 will get multiplied together like we would normally do. What this means, what the distributive property means, is that you're going to take this number, -6, you're going to multiply it times 1a. There's a plus sign here, so we bring down the plus sign. Now this -6 is going to get used again. -6 times 8. And then you complete these two multiplications. -6 times a is just -6a. -6 times 8 is -48. So what to do? You have a plus sign and you have a negative. If your answer ends up negative, then you write it as minus 48. This is the answer. -6a minus 48. Now, when I do these, I use what I call loops. I just draw a loop to what it is I'm multiplying. I'm multiplying the 6 and the 5, and the 5 is negative. 6 times -5 is -30. In that multiplication, there was an n involved, so I have to bring it along. -30n. Now I'm going to do 6 times 7. There's a plus sign that separates these two, so I need to write down plus. And now I do 6 times 7 is 42. And that is the answer. -30n plus 42. Now it doesn't matter that this -8 is at the end of this expression. It means the same thing, times. If you'd like, you can rewrite it and move the 8 to the front. It changes nothing. What we need to be careful with is now we have negatives being multiplied by negatives. On the inside of the parentheses, -4 minus 3n. This minus sign belongs to the 3n. If it were to stand alone outside of this expression, it would be -3n. And that's what we need to remember as we do our multiplication. So first, we have -8 times -4. A negative times a negative is a positive, and 8 times 4 is 32. So this results in positive 32. Next, we have -8 times -3. A negative times a negative is a positive, so we'll write plus right here. 8 times 3 is 24, and in that multiplication there was an n that we're going to bring along. That is the answer. So we move to the next one. I'm going to do this without moving the 5, and it will mean the same thing. 5 times 1 is 5. And now it's 5 times negative 7. 5 times negative 7 is negative 35. I'm not going to write down minus negative 35 or plus negative 35. When I write this answer in the expression, if it's negative, I'm going to use a minus sign. So 5 times negative 7 is minus 35, and there's an n with it. Next one, 5 times 3, 15, and it's got an m with it. 5 times negative 6 is negative 30. So minus 30. 5 times b, 5b. 5 times negative 1 means minus 5. These are your examples for the other side of the page. Now you do the other side of the page. Keep in mind, a negative times a negative is a positive. A positive times a negative is a negative. If you end up with a negative answer, you'll write it as minus 5, minus 30, minus 35. If it's the first number in the answer, negative 30, negative 6.